Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at Hasbro Pulse Spider-Man vs. Carnage, meant to look like the animated series. Kind of, but basically not really. Just another cash grab to make some more money for Hasbro, rather than to actually make what they could have made really awesome. They made some really underwhelming stuff here, and they didn't really make it so much as repaint what they already did a while ago. So this is going to be a fairly quick review, I think, but I don't know, there's two figures, so it might still take some time. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Before I take the box away, I do just want to mention one thing, well, kind of two things. This looks mostly, it's going to be a few things. This looks mostly the way it did in the animated series. That would be fine. The figure doesn't really match that, but it's pretty close. This doesn't look anything like the animated series. Like at all. It's like they made this to look like the action figure, which doesn't look right at all. So we'll get into that. And then the last thing is just the axe hand. Notice how there's no hand. It's just forearm to axe. That's how I remember it being, although I do remember him actually having like an axe, like a woodsman axe, and not this blade. So, you know, another inaccuracy potentially. You guys can let me know. All right, let's go ahead and just get in to the figures. Height-wise, Spider-Man stands just about 6 and 5/8, and that's gonna make him roughly, we'll call it just shy of 17 centimeters. We've seen all of that before, and this guy stands about 16, well, a little under 16.5 centimeters, and that's gonna make him little shy of 6.5 inches, so he is shorter than Spider-Man, which is strange, and it's not a good thing. Let's just do a quick question of the day. Are you guys sick and tired of the really skinny comic book characters that Hasbro's creating? Because here's what they look like in action figure form, and then you'll see on the screen now what they look like in the show. Like, it's not even close. It's not even remotely close, especially for Carnage. He looks emaciated. Emaciated? How do you pronounce that? Anyway, it's just not good. It's really, really, really not good. And we'll just dive into the aesthetic. Carnage's pattern doesn't match the show at all. It's not right. Obviously, the build is way wrong. And they just did way less painting than they needed to. For Spider-Man, I guess it's passable for the paint job, but I mean, not really. It still doesn't follow his muscles at all in any reasonable way. It's way too heavy and clunky and just not done with any finesse at all. The spider logo, it's all sloppy. There's black spots all throughout. And then they did the gray shading on there, but it doesn't really look like anything. It doesn't match. Like, there's no blue shading to go with the gray shading. The gray shading's okay here, but then up here it doesn't make any sense at all. On the back, it makes no sense. It's like they didn't even try at all, really. I've seen countless custom paint jobs that are made to match kind of like the animated series, and they all look better. Even the bad ones look better than what Hasbro's doing here. It's really, really unfortunate how lazy they are and how much crap they're creating nowadays. So, as far as the animated look, these both fail completely. The builds are completely wrong, and the paint job, though somewhat close for Spider-Man, it's not even close for Carnage, and they're both just pretty awful altogether. And then, just as far as the sculpts go, like I said, they don't match the show. This one still has all the problems it used to have. You know, we still have the really, really big oblique / hip bone area that sticks out in a very unnatural way. Very narrow chest, very small shoulders. Not a good looking Spider-Man figure. His shoulders are so small and so low, especially compared to the source images. Oh, so disappointing. And this guy, you want to talk about small shoulders? They're even smaller. And these arms aren't really made to fit on these shoulders. Look at this. Look at the way it's shelving. You can see the top of the bicep piece, tricep, bicep, this whole area. You can see the top of that because it doesn't fit onto the shoulder properly. Because the shoulders are way too small on this build. And I'm thinking these are the arms that they used for the last Carnage, which didn't use this body, which is not a particularly good body to begin with. Man, these figures are just a mess. Aesthetically, they're passable if you don't really care, but if you do care, you're going to be very disappointed. Very disappointed, because there's no level of, like, at all collectability. They just look like they are made as cheap as possible to get them out the door. Very, very disappointed. What is this? What is that? That doesn't match the show. It doesn't look right. It's just so bad. Okay, so aesthetically speaking, each figure, we'll just do them as a 2-pack. This 2-pack gets a 3 out of 10. It's not good. It's not good at all. As far as accessories go for Carnage, you get the alternate head, which is okay. Then you get an open claw hand to replace his already open claw hand. That's a little bit strange. Slightly bigger claws. And then for the other hand, you get the blade hand, which just doesn't match anything it's supposed to. So that's pretty unfortunate. And for Spider-Man, all you get are the fist hands that come on him. You get 2 thwipping hands and then 2 wall crawling hands. Really, really disappointing for accessories. I mean, these are like completely just repaint at this point, and they still can't include accessories. So 2 out of 10 for accessories. Not enough. For articulation, it's nothing new. You guys have seen this all before, but I'll run it briefly. Spider-Man can look up, but he still uses that busted neck joint that came on the first of the retro Spider-Man figures with the big hole in the back, and he looks up like not even very well. Not even very well. Let's see. This guy doesn't have that. Oh, it doesn't work at all. That's right. This body blows. I forgot. I didn't. It's really, really bad. So you get your rotation, leaning, a tiny bit of leaning, but they just totally screwed the pooch on that ball peg. We already know that. Butterfly joint is there, but it doesn't really do much at all. Shoulders going out to the side, that's fine. Full rotation, that's fine. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. It's pinless. Yay, pinless joints. Everybody loves pinless joints, but they come on crappy figures, so who cares? It works. It's fine. And then the wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Diaphragm joint on this guy does lean back, but almost immediately creates a gap, so that's not exactly ideal. Leaning forward, almost none on the diaphragm joint. Leaning to the side does work fairly well, so that's good. You do get your rotation. This ab crunch down here, it works, I guess. It's like the most unnatural thing, though. It's really, really an eyesore to have that ab crunch where it is. It makes it. The only thing worse than this is that Into the Spider-Verse figure that just came out. That's even worse. Really, really, really worse. Like a lot worse. But this is still not good, because look at these lumps and things. Like, who's designing this articulation? This guy looks like he's made out of Legos. What the hell? What the hell? This is insane to me that this is being passed off as like professional work. It's nuts. Stop buying this stuff, guys. It's so bad. It's so bad. This one does still have the drop down hips. They're not super sloppy this time, so that's okay. They go out to the side reasonably well. Nothing impressive. Going forward, just horizontal, so that's okay. And then they go back a little bit. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee. It's okay. Proportions are still off, but not that bad, so it's all right. Shin swivel is all right. Ankles go all the way back and all the way forward, really. Ankle rocker is okay. Toe hinge is a loose mess. Way too loose. So his articulation is passable. It's not good, especially not good for a Spider-Man figure, and it's still not as good as like Armored Daredevil or most of the other figures that aren't Spider-Man. So his articulation is pretty awful. This guy, well, you already saw his neck works way better. He can't lean to the side really because of it's not a double ball peg, but they screwed Spider-Man up so bad it doesn't really matter. This one's okay. His butterfly joint does work much better range out of him. Shoulders, if you tuck them in and fight them, you might be able to get them to go a little higher, but I can't, so they don't go quite horizontal. You do get your full rotation. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow using these old arms that don't really fit on the body. It works okay. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. The blade hand does have a vertical hinge, which is good, I guess, but it's still not a good accessory. Ab crunch on this guy is the worst. Oh yeah, this is an accessory, by the way, I guess. It's not really. You know, you would probably just want it on him. Ab crunch goes back a little bit, looks awful. Goes forward a little bit, looks okay. Waist twist is okay. He still has the big obliques. His hips go out to the side way farther than Spider-Man on the better, air quote, better body. Going forward, they work just as well. They kick out to the side just a touch. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee is fine. You do get a boot swivel, shin swivel. Ankles go all the way back, all the way forward. And you get a solid ankle rocker. So his articulation works just as well, if not better than the other guy, which is not particularly impressive. So these guys are going to get a 6 out of 10 for articulation. They should be really well articulated, but they are not. which is basically the theme for Hasbro. It should be better, but it's not. For basically everything, and this is a perfect example. They're straight up repaints, and they're not good repaints, and they didn't even give us good accessories. This is a really, really disappointing 2-pack that they definitely just cashed in with, and that blows. Really, guys, stop buying this stuff. Did you guys see that new $70 12-inch figure that's just a repaint of Captain America? Oh my goodness, it's insane what they're doing, and people are just lapping it up. Alright, I'm going to give this 2-pack an overall rating of 3 out of 10. Really not worth buying. The custom cool paint jobs on these guys are just nowhere near worth buying these figures again. And this guy being on this body, what the hell? Why? There's no point. So yeah, don't buy it. It's more crap from Hasbro that shouldn't be purchased. There it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.